Representative Brenda Carter from Michigan's 29th District on the Oakland County Megacast. Representative Carter, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Tyler. I'm glad to be here.
So how are you? How's your team doing?
My team is phenomenal. I could not have a more efficient team. We've been together ever since I've been in office. They know me, I know them, and they are working hard for this district.
And we do see a lot of partnership between your office, between other representatives in our local area and their office with both Oakland County, with our local school districts and other organizations as well. And part of that partnership, a couple weeks back, we joined your team for your K-12 education experience town hall with a few different superintendents from school districts in our local area. We had Dr. Hill from West Bloomfield, Dr. Schwartz from Avondale Schools, and then we had Kelly Williams, the superintendent of the Pontiac School District as well. That was leading up to the results of this Michigan Michigan Safe Schools Return to Learn plan. Partnership has been critical with our educators in the local area and between their state representative as well. Since that event went on, what has the conversation been continued to be between school districts in your office and other state legislatures on these issues?
Well, we're very fortunate in District 29 to have three great superintendents. And I found that they have been collaborating on school openings all along while the governor's team has been putting a plan in place. What results of that telecast, and thank you very much, Civic Center TV, for broadcasting that for us, is that the community knows where to go to, who's involved in the questions they may have. They've asked us to do another education town hall right before school opens. So we're looking tentatively at August 17th, putting it together and bringing in our public education superintendents and also inviting in a couple of the charter school superintendents. So it's been very beneficial for my district as a whole. It covered everything from Orchard Lake Village to Auburn Hills. So it's been a great experience for my district.
Representative Brenda Carter with us from Michigan's 29th District on the Oakland County Megacast. Representative Carter, you and your staff have been helping with unemployment issues, among other issues, in the local area. You recently started holding workshops for those residents that are seeking unemployment and are trying to get in contact with the Unemployment Insurance Agency. What goes on at those workshops? When are they, and how can people get involved?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. Thank you for asking that question. It has been a labor of love because we realized that the UIA system was totally overwhelmed with the pandemic. 1/4 of our workforce seeking unemployment assistance. Not only my district, but all of the legislators on both sides of the aisle in both houses have been reaching out and helping our constituents. In my district, particularly on Wednesdays and Fridays from noon to 4 o'clock, we do have in-district assistance at one of the local nonprofits in Pontiac, where anybody in our district can come up to this office and get assistance. What they will do is we have been trained, my staff and I, including me, we have all been trained on what to do with the basics of helping people get their claims resolved. As of today, I've learned that we're somewhere a little north of 700 claims that we have assisted virtually in every community that I have. And right now, my communities are Auburn Hills, Keiko Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake Village, and Pontiac. So people can now come to 331 West Walton Boulevard on Wednesdays and Fridays from 12 to 4, and they can get immediate assistance with their claims as far as getting them inputted into the UIA system.
If I can ask you one question as an elected leader, we hear so often about the gap in education, the kids that don't have access to the internet. How has this been for you as an elected leader, though, to reach out to senior citizens? I feel like that's a part of our community that we're not really talking about. They don't have the educational or the internet tools or the savviness sometimes, not all. Some grandpas out there are much better at Facebook than I am, But there is that technological gap with your senior citizens. So how have you been able to try to reach out to them during this time?
In all honesty, what we have been focusing on in my district is making sure that our seniors are safe. We're totally engaged with the Bowen Center and the Ruth Peterson Center, and making sure that our seniors have nutritious meals, the medical attention they need, the testing they need, COVID-19, the information that they need about COVID-19. Now, technology has not been on the forefront of most of our seniors. If we were to do well, I'm speaking of one particular community, but if we were to do a survey and say, what is your highest priorities right now in time, we would find out that most seniors are definitely afraid, because when COVID-19 started, they said if you're over a certain age, you're going to be affected by COVID-19. However, bringing up the point that we do need to provide technology resources for our seniors. This is something that my district will look into. I know that we have at the Bowen Center and the Ruth Peterson Center in Pontiac, we do have computers set up, and we do have access to the internet for our seniors who want to learn more about the internet. But for our seniors who are sick and shut in, those are the ones we really need to look at and say, maybe this is an opportunity for us to say, is this something that you could benefit from? So it's definitely something that I will look into.
Representative Brenda Carter from Michigan's 29th District with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Representative Carter, you've also been involved with a food distribution program at the office of the Phoenix Community Fund in Pontiac. Go into details about what's going on at that, when is it happening, and where can folks go to if they need that assistance?
Yes, thank you for asking that question as well. We partner a lot with nonprofits, quite a few nonprofits that we support, and they support the initiatives that we are doing. The For Helping Others Enhance, For Hope, is actually the actual sponsor of our food drive that we have on Wednesdays and Fridays. Once again, in fact, it's going on right now. We're proud to say several potential elected officials or elected officials like U.S. Congresswoman Haley Stevens will come by, and they will help us serve nutritious frozen meals to the community free of charge, no questions asked. Just drive up to the building and you will be properly served. This also goes on Wednesdays and Fridays, but from noon until 2 p.m. Once again, this is one of the community initiatives that we are involved with throughout the whole entire district where we service our community.
Yesterday at a press conference, Governor Whitmer introduced some potential police reforms that she's proposing for the state of Michigan. Among those policies that would be involved in those reforms are bans on chokeholds and windpipe blockage, further limits on no-knock warrants, duty to intervene policies, and making false racially motivated 911 calls a hate crime, as well as further on-the-job training requirements for officers in order to maintain their license. Your thoughts on these proposed reforms, and is there anything in terms of police reform being worked on by the state legislature at this time?
I really appreciate this question because the House of Representatives recently brought up a House Concurrent Resolution 277, which gave us an either-or solution to something that needs a deeper dive. I am very appreciative of Representative Ronnie Peterson and Representative Brian Elder, because they came out with House Bill 5837. And what this bill does is it addresses the needs of additional training and additional support for our police, not only for our police, but for our community. We have found shining examples of community police collaboration. You have a great one up there in Flint with Chris Swanson, who walked with the protesters, or right down here in Oakland County, you have Sheriff Bouchard, who has a ongoing SRT program where he brings in community stakeholders to talk about some of the things that's going on with the police. The governor's EO on making sure that we identify these serious cases where you have chokeholds, where you have obvious police brutality. These things are addressed quickly. So I agree with that as well. but I'm more focused on making sure that we have enough resources, not only with our police, but with our community. A lot of the people who are uh, uh, in trouble with the system are people that could have had a different avenue if they had socioeconomic conditions addressed, or if they had mental health issues, maybe that could have been addressed by the professionals who are properly trained in dealing with this type of incident. So with the governor's EO that she put out, I agree with it, but I more so agree with what the House of Representatives did with 5837, where they said they need to address the shortcomings or the shortages with our police and in our community and dealing with and that type of reform more so than just a cold breakout. Either you're on this side or you're this side, and neither one of them solves. And what we need to do is take a deeper look into what's happening. And I'm grateful for what happened. Okay.
Representative Brenda Carter with us from Michigan's 29th District, one of our state representatives. Here on the Oakland County Megacast, Representative Carter, on Tuesday night, there was an event in West Bloomfield that was organized by a first-year student at the University of Michigan, a West Bloomfield High School graduate, Drive-In for Justice, which was a program centered around raising awareness for equal rights for black people, for indigenous people, for people of color in our community. And it was organized almost entirely by young people in our community, either current high school students or recent graduates. Talk to us a little bit about the leadership that's been shown during these social justice movements we've seen of the past month or so in our local area. Talk about the leadership of our young people and making these movements move forward.
I think it's incredible. Okay. I can remember back in the day when I was a young person in the last century, where
Representative Carter, it appears that your audio was muted. Let's give you a quick moment here to unmute yourself and go ahead and restart your answer there.
that we protested for our Vietnam War, that's giving my age, but to see the young people out there now, and they're diverse, okay? You don't see just one race or one this, they're all together because they realize how important it is for their future to get some of this out of the way. So I'm very encouraged. In Pontiac, we have a group of people, young people who are moving the movement forward. They just had a great event over there at the 50th District Court. The one we had out at 1200 Bunny Allen, that was a really good one. Once again, motivated by these young people. I believe they're mostly Gen Zs. You might find some millennials, but what's encouraging is that it's Gen Z. So I'm excited about what's going on in West Bloomfield. I know we just had one out in where the young people did in Auburn Hills. So it's all over my district. And what's beautiful about these young people is that they want to protest peacefully. They want change peacefully. They identify and they recognize that we have some issues. We have some issues that if we get out of the way, maybe we could all live in harmony, all races, all people. So I support the young people, and whenever I can be out there for them, I will.
Representative Brenda Carter, anything else you'd like to speak on before we let you go today?
Yes. I just want everybody to be safe this 4th of July. I know we all want to get out to the beaches and the sandbar in Kego, but we got to realize that right now the uptick is going the other way when it comes to COVID-19 cases. And even in Michigan, we've had incidents out in Grand Rapids. We've had incidents in East Lansing, and we just have to be safe. We don't want another shutdown. We don't want another economic downturn. We don't want more deaths due to something that we can prevent if we just put on a mask. Political statement, I don't think politics has anything to do with this right now. We just want to make sure that we secure our planet. And if nothing more, for all those young people who are out there protesting that they want a better life.
Well, thank you very much for being with us today, Representative.
You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for having me.